So you're thinking about moving to Montana. Maybe you're looking for that small town life and you've heard of Bozeman, but you're curious about more of the area. Maybe you're looking for more space or acreage, or just a smaller community feel than what Bozeman has to offer. I've been living in Bozeman my entire life, and I've created the ultimate list for you to discover what other towns and communities there are around Bozeman and what they're really like. We get people moving here from all over the country, including other parts of Montana, Washington State, California, Wyoming, and Colorado, just to name a few. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the top 6 towns and communities in the area here near Bozeman. I'm going to give you information as well as the good and the bad, or the pros and cons of each town or area. And then we'll jump in the car so you can see it for yourself and check out each of those areas. So let's get right to it. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Bozeman, Montana and the surrounding areas here in Southwest Montana, like Ennis and Big Sky, Livingston and Three Forks, then be sure to subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Bozeman and those surrounding areas here in Southwest Montana. My name is Hallie. I'm a local real estate agent, and I get calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you looking to make their move here in beautiful Southwest Montana, and I absolutely love it. Whether you're looking to buy or sell or move or invest in the next 9 days or 90 days, just give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I'd be honored to help you find your place here in Bozeman and all over Southwest Montana. All my information is in the description below. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be covering those top 6 towns and communities around Bozeman. But first and foremost, I wanted to give you a little bit of information about Bozeman itself if you're not already familiar. Bozeman is absolutely a remarkable place to call home, without a doubt, but it is most certainly also no longer a secret. In the greater Bozeman area, there are currently 195 active listings with a median list price of $1.2 million. According to the census, the population in Bozeman is about 50,000. 45% of residents own their homes, and the median income is about $67,000 per year. Now, Bozeman, of course, is in a great location, tucked right here in the Gallatin Valley, surrounded by mountains and all kinds of amazing scenery, as well as phenomenal skiing, snowboarding, and all kinds of outdoor adventure, of course. It's also about 15 minutes to the Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport, just outside of Belgrade, one of our neighboring towns. So that's exactly where I'm going to start, is with Belgrade. It is about 11 miles from Bozeman, so not far at all. And a lot of people do look to Belgrade as a more affordable option, alternative to Bozeman, and still being able to be very close, easy access to more jobs, that sort of thing. Belgrade, like many other towns in Montana, got its start centered around agriculture, and that is definitely still a focus in the area overall, but it is certainly not the only focus. There is plenty more going on, and there are more and more jobs coming to the area. But I would say one of the cons of Belgrade overall is that there are fewer jobs at this point. Though, again, there are more and more coming to the area, and there are more and more opportunities, as well as, of course, that short commute to Bozeman. In addition to that, there is an overall lack of public transportation in the area in general. Belgrade does have one bus route with the Streamline Bus, which is a local bus service centered or based in Bozeman. But other than that, most of the area is pretty vehicle dependent. The median income in Belgrade is a bit higher than Bozeman, actually, at about $72,000. Now, in Belgrade, the percentage of people who own their home is quite a bit higher than Bozeman, likely due to Bozeman having that university. The percentage of people who own their homes in Belgrade is about 58%. And for housing, there are currently 37 residential listings for sale in the Belgrade area, with a median list price of $639,000. So quite a bit lower than Bozeman currently. So let's go drive around Belgrade, check out that downtown, as well as some of the neighborhoods. The next town I'm going to cover today, just a bit further west of Belgrade, is Manhattan, Montana. Manhattan is a bit smaller even than Belgrade, with a population of just around 2,000, and it is quite a bit more agriculture focused than Belgrade currently is. Manhattan has a lot of farmland as well as livestock and tons of that open space, with a focus on seed potatoes, dairy, wheat, and commercial beef. And the town itself, the residences vary from, urban condos right in the cute little downtown of Manhattan to, older historic ranch homes and, surrounded by that farmland. So Manhattan has all of that small town Montana charm, with larger lots and more space overall, and again, incredible views and mountain access not far away. And of course, the Gallatin River is very close by as well, with wonderful fishing access and an incredible trail system. Manhattan has 3 public schools in town, a elementary school, a middle school, and a high school, as well as a 105-year-old private school right there in town. Being that it is so small, Manhattan doesn't really have any major city lights, so it makes for absolutely incredible views of the stars and the night sky. Of course, if you're not ready for that very small town life, it may be a little bit too small for some people. For instance, there's not a lot of nightlife in Manhattan itself. Thankfully, you're just 15 minutes down the road to Belgrade and another maybe 10 or 15 into Bozeman if that's something that's important to you. And you might be surprised that Manhattan does have a few wonderful little dining establishments of its own. Manhattan does not have any public transportation, really, so a very vehicle-dependent area as well. And of course, very easy access to the Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport there, just outside of Belgrade. Now, as far as homes, there are some lovely higher-end homes in Gallatin River Ranch, which is a beautiful area just north of Manhattan in these wonderful hills with amazing mountain views and a private equestrian center. The median list price for the 26 currently active residential listings in Manhattan is $995,000. With all of that extra space and land, that is what's going to bring that median price a little bit higher, almost to the level of where Bozeman is, but I can almost guarantee you're going to get more acreage and more land for that amount in the Manhattan area. So let's go drive around Manhattan and check it out. Just a little bit further up the interstate, you're going to find the town of Three Forks, Montana. Very similarly sized to Manhattan. There's about 2,000 residents in Three Forks as well. And it is home to the Wheat Montana Farms and Bakery, which is a wonderful thing there. So obviously the area is very agriculture focused as well. There are 3 schools in Three Forks, again, 1 elementary, 1 middle school, and 1 high school. And according to niche.com, they are rated somewhat variably, so definitely worth looking into if that's something of concern for you. Three Forks has experienced quite a bit of growth, much like the rest of Southwest Montana here, of course, but there's some lovely new developments happening and new homes being built just north of Three Forks. There's wonderful, views and these amazing rolling hills with larger lots, so more space. Some of the lots around an acre, some of them upwards of 5 acres or more. And I did cover a whole bunch of that as well as the town of Three Forks in a recent vlog tour of the area if you're interested in getting a little bit more in depth and checking that out some more. Three Forks is self-proclaimed as Montana's best small town. And being that it's just 30 minutes down the interstate to Bozeman, maybe a little bit more just depending on the roads conditions and whatnot, you've still got really easy access to additional shopping, additional resources, as well as that Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport again. It definitely has that small town rural feel if that's the sort of thing you're looking for. But that does also mean there's not a lot to do. There's just a few shops downtown and of course your essentials. But for anything specialty or if you're looking for for some really, fine dining or to go out and do more, you may find yourself headed to Bozeman. And a lot like the other places we've already talked about, Belgrade and Manhattan, not a lot of public transportation, so Three Forks is largely vehicle dependent. Three Forks is named because of its proximity to where three different rivers meet up and form the Missouri River. The Gallatin, the Jefferson, and the Madison all come together there at the Missouri Headwaters State Park, which is a wonderfully beautiful area. With all those rivers, of course, there's going to be absolutely spectacular fishing, as well as hunting on public lands, and of course, just the scenery and the mountains and everything nearby as well. And then Three Forks is just about an hour south of Helena, Montana, which is actually our state capital. So you've got access in both directions to some larger towns. Three Forks is one of many towns in Montana that does also feature a rodeo each summer, which is absolutely a blast to check out. And the area is, of course, very rich in history. Lewis and Clark visited the area in 1805. And then we've got the historic Sacagawea Hotel that is, was built in 1910, recently restored, with some wonderful fine dining right inside there at Pompey's Grill. And much like both Belgrade and Manhattan that I've talked about so far, it's a wonderful small town community. People are really friendly and inviting overall. There are currently 19 residential listings in the Three Forks area with a median list price of $425,000. So clearly you can get, lower price homes when you get a little bit further out from Bozeman. So let's go drive around Three Forks and check it out. Now, if we go back to Bozeman and head east past the Bozeman Pass, we're going to find the town of Livingston, Montana. If you love Bozeman's breweries and galleries and restaurants and the outdoors, then Livingston is going to be a wonderful place to consider. That is a bit smaller than Bozeman as well, with a population of about 8,000. Livingston still has that wonderful small town feel, but it's really become a very cool place with a very eclectic vibe and a growing cultural scene with all these wonderful art galleries downtown and the summer art walks featuring, local artists and some, varying music events that happen as well. Livingston has wonderful dining options also, and of course, all of that outdoor adventure for outdoor enthusiasts, especially south of Livingston in the Paradise Valley. Arguably one of the most beautiful areas here in southwest Montana, if not all of Montana, Paradise Valley has incredible hiking and camping, as well as a variety of little getaways at Chico Hot Springs, for instance, and the Sage Lodge, and Pine Creek, which features some music events. And then even further south, you hit Gardner, Montana, and you are pretty much in Yellowstone National Park with all of the wildlife and all of the thermal wonders and everything there. With Yellowstone nearby, and of course the seasonality of the area overall, there is somewhat of a focus on tourism in Livingston, so you are going to see the summers be a bit busier than the shoulder seasons, spring and fall or winter. And of course the Yellowstone River is right there nearby with some incredible boating and fishing, as in addition to all of the camping and everything south of town. And then of course there's the Livingston Roundup Rodeo that happens every summer as well. There are also some absolutely incredible dining options all around Livingston, from fine dining to breweries and everything in between. Livingston is another one of those wonderful, small, tight-knit communities and very welcoming overall. There are 2 elementary schools, 1 middle school, and 1 high school in the area. Being that it is a small town, you may find yourself commuting over to Bozeman for a variety of reasons. Again, the airport just outside of Belgrade. From Livingston, it's going to be about a 45-minute drive, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the season. But you are going to be driving over the Bozeman Pass, which it's not the most difficult or highest pass in Montana, certainly, but it does get weather and it can be tough at times. And this past winter, we definitely saw it get closed for weather, reasons at least once. So not necessarily an ideal commute or an ideal drive, especially in winter, but people do that for work and go to Bozeman for that because there may not be quite as many jobs in Livingston available, or, you know, just for special occasions or additional shopping. It's nice to have Bozeman there nearby for those additional resources. Livingston is also definitely known for having quite a bit of wind. Weather patterns coming through, the way they come through the area, whatever it may be, it is usually quite windy in Livingston. And you can see that quite clearly in the recent vlog tour that I did. So if you're curious about more of Livingston and you want to hear a little bit of that wind, be sure to check that one out as well. The median income in Livingston is $51,000, and 65% of residents do own their homes, which is quite a bit higher than Bozeman, of course. There are currently 44 active residential listings in Park County, which is where Livingston is located, with a median list price of $799,000. So let's go drive around Livingston and check it out. The last two communities I'm going to be talking about today are quite a bit smaller than the rest, which may be hard to believe for some of you coming from larger urban areas. But Gallatin Gateway, which is a town just to the south or southwest of Bozeman, is a town of about 1,000 residents. It's on your way to a Big Sky resort, so you're going to be a little bit closer to that. It's on this wonderful, highway that heads south of Bozeman towards Big Sky and then on to West Yellowstone, of course. But it's just before the mouth of the Gallatin Canyon, which is why it is called Gallatin Gateway. It's a pretty easy 15-minute drive to Bozeman or to the airport in just outside of Belgrade there. And of course, Bozeman is going to be a main resource for, shopping and groceries, most of your dining out, things like that, because Gallatin Gateway is very small, but it is a quintessential, almost an Old West feel type town right there outside of Bozeman. The views in Gallatin Gateway are absolutely spectacular. You've got the Gallatin Range right there to the south, very close to that, and the area is known for having a pretty big herd of elk that come through, so it's a very country sort of feel, not far from, a bigger town. Now, that highway I mentioned that comes from Bozeman through Gallatin Gateway on its way to Big Sky is a pretty busy 2-lane highway. So there can be quite a bit of traffic that comes through there, whether it's construction traffic or tourism during the winter for Big Sky Resort. There's a variety of reasons, but that road does see quite a bit of traffic year-round, basically. There is one public school in the town of Gallatin Gateway that serves students from kindergarten to 8th grade, and after that, most students do go over to neighboring Bozeman for high school in one of their 2 public high schools. Many of the homes in the area are quite large and on quite a bit of land, perhaps with an active farm or horse property, that sort of thing. But many of them are going to be higher priced on more land. And some of them are used as second homes or as vacation homes as well. There is a wide variety right there in the town of Gallatin Gateway as well, but we're going to see a lot of the homes be quite a bit larger and on that land, so we're going to see the prices be a bit higher even than Bozeman. There are currently 12 active residential listings, and those have a median list price of $1.9 million. So let's go drive around Gallatin Gateway a little bit so you can check out the town and those incredible views. Now, west of Bozeman, but not quite as far north as, say, Belgrade is where you're going to find the small communities of Churchhill and Amsterdam. They're very close to one another, and some people kind of lump them together in a lot of ways. Churchhill has a population of about 1,000 people, Amsterdam of about 200. Needless to say, very small communities. As far as schools goes, some people do end up attending in Manhattan. There are some small country schools right in the area as well. Again, the whole area has, some beautiful rolling hills, amazing views of the mountains all around, as well as, big wide open spaces and quite a bit of farmland there as well. It's another one of those amazingly tight-knit communities, but that small town life is pretty different. It's one of those blink and you'll miss it almost kind of places, with pretty limited dining, but it's an absolutely wonderful little community. And of course, Bozeman is just a short 20 to 25 minute drive away, again, for additional resources or dining, that sort of thing. So it's not far and it's a pretty easy drive. Now, with all of the growth in the area, there's definitely some new developments actually happening in Churchhill and Amsterdam as well. Some newer condos as well as some newer single family homes. The median list price on the 4 residential listings in the Amsterdam Churchhill area is currently at about $1 million. So let's go drive around this little town and show you some of those incredible views as well. Now, I wanted to touch on just a couple other little areas, bonus areas, if you will, near Bozeman, just not quite as close. Big Sky being one of them. Big Sky is a world of its own, both geographically and economically. Big Sky is one of the most desirable ski destinations and home to 3 private ski and golf communities. So it's to be expected somewhat that the cost of a home in Big Sky is quite a bit higher than anywhere nearby. Now, Ennis is the other town I wanted to touch on. It is southwest of Bozeman, just on the other side of the mountain range from Big Sky. So where Big Sky is mostly south, Ennis is obviously a little bit further to the west there. It's situated right there on the edge of the Madison River, with mountains all around and some beautiful lakes as well, and some of the best trout fishing in all of Montana. Ennis is a small town with just under 1,000 residents, and it does have 3 public schools. There's an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school. Ennis is about an hour's drive from Bozeman, much like Big Sky is also an hour's drive, but Ennis is going to feel almost like the Old West at times. It's got that old-timey Montana feel, and the people are absolutely wonderful there as well. Ennis is a town known for thriving on recreation and tourism as well as construction, and there are several active ranches nearby there as well, so there's quite a bit of agriculture in the area also. And the real estate in Ennis, Montana is pretty diverse. Everything from log cabins to big luxury homes, to, brand new construction. There's quite a bit of options there, many of which are on larger lots or, acreage, in fact. Be sure to keep an eye out because I will be doing videos in Ennis very, very soon. And it goes without saying, for the most part, that here in Southwest Montana, or really all of Montana, we definitely experience winter. It can be quite long and snowy and cold at times. So if you're curious about a little bit more about what that's like, be sure to get in touch or check out one of my videos where I went in depth on what winter in Bozeman or in Southwest Montana here is really like. And with that, that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you found this helpful, and insightful on the different areas, towns, and communities right here around Bozeman. And as always, feel free to reach out if you have any questions or you're curious about moving or buying or investing here in Southwest Montana in the next 9 days or 90 days. Be sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, or we can even set up a Zoom chat if you'd like. And I'd be honored to help you find your place here in Southwest Montana. And until next time, I hope to show you around.